those whose shoulders I stand on. We forget. Our parents, our grandparents took so much stuff to get us here. And we sit back like a bunch of cowards and can't even speak the truth. What's up with that? Can I get a hand there? That's what I'm saying. Step up, woman up, man up, get ready. Because I don't know what's all coming up. We got some years and got some stuff we got to deal with. It's not about going out fighting in the blind. How do we engage? Because I really believe in the possibility of building a movement in this nation and creating a table where there's a place for everybody at that table. It's got to be. This ain't no black thing or just no brown thing. It's an everybody thing. And the kids say, this is an everybody thing. It's all our responsibility to create that table. That we create a table that, and I deal with undoing racism, but there's no way that I could not address the other forms of oppression that happen. The intersectionality of oppression, they're so connected. What I believe is that I can't deal with these other forms of oppression if I don't deal with racism. Because racism has been the wedge that has separated us every time when we try to deal with forms of oppression. Whether it's the women's movement, the labor movement, you name the movement, and racism gets in the way from us being able to hold tight. So we got to address racism not as a hierarchy in terms of what oppression, because we get caught up into that. Well, my oppression worse than your oppression. And I'm like, dude, why are we fighting over whose oppression is the worst? We all getting our butt kicked. See, this stuff make you crazy. Make you crazy. So one of the things is I tell people, I encourage people to do is we need to find out where this thing called race comes from. We all checking a box and don't even know how the box got there. Put the box there. We just assume it's been there. It must have been in the Bible. Don't read the Bible. Ain't nobody broke up by no racist. We need to understand that this construct, this racial construct that this nation was built on, Nazi Germany was built on, the apartheid system in South Africa was built on. We unique, y'all. We need to understand the construct of race and that we live in a society that is racially constructed. And at the Institute, our analysis believe that racism creates and maintains the class system in this society. We can't even organize around class. Poor white people getting their butts kicked, but they don't want to be with me. No, you better come hook up with me. Your mom ain't got no teeth like my mom ain't got no teeth. We need to be dealing with this so we both can get some dinner work. You do good, see, but racism makes you crazy. We live in a nation where we really need to seriously look at mental health services. However, I always warn people, make sure the folk that's delivering the mental health services ain't crazy. Ain't a lot of that too. Community taught me that. I used to sit in the community that said, you know what, Miss So-and-so, you need to go see a counselor. She said, you know what, Barbara? I went to see her. She crazier than me. She was right. I had to come to understand that. Before Katrina, I used to be the executive director of community-based health clinic. I've been in all these different things, and I figured, like, God, you put me in all, just have enough knowledge about everything. Our clinic was a community-based health clinic, the only clinic in this nation that had, and we became a teaching clinic, that had as the number one health risk of the African American community that we serve was racism. I understand blood pressure and all of that, but I also understand that unless I understood racism and the people that worked at my clinic, I could never change the health outcomes of the people in my community. There's so much, and there's no way we're ever going to learn it all. I don't know it all, and I don't have to. That's why it's incredibly important that we recognize that everybody has something to bring to this conversation and this discussion. Now, sometimes we do workshops everywhere. People show up, and our process, it's taken us 30 years to refine the curriculum that we do. There's no way you're going to do everything in 2 days. But sometimes we have people show up, and they come there and they know what works. Now, they haven't seen it work for them, but they know, and they show up in the workshop, and they know they've written 18 books and all of this stuff. And I always tell them, I'm really excited for you, but you ain't taking over this workshop, go get your own. See, because you got to respect the wisdom of everybody in the room, whether they've written a book or 50 books. Everybody brings some skills and knowledge to this conversation, even if it's a willingness to say, I don't know, I didn't understand. There's so much of who we are as a nation that's been left out of the discussion, out of the history. The information that we have is so distorted. And you've got to do a lot of research sometimes to get to the truth. But we've got to be willing to do that work. And as I said, I do this work because my life, the life of the people I love, the life of my city, the life of my nation, the life of the world depends on us doing this work to create a world where everybody's humanity is seen in full view. That's a new thing for us as a nation. We've not done it. We weren't created with that kind of value system. But guess what? We're not going to be less than human. I don't care what nobody says. You can't put me back there. You can't take me back there. I don't care what some of the folks think they can do. It can't happen. I don't know what will happen when we try, but I can tell you, it ain't happening. Now people could write whatever they want and say whatever they want. I fought too hard, and the people before me, it would be disrespectful for me to allow this nation to go back to where some of the folks think it's going to go back to. Now, what I always say is, when you push too hard, you create the possibility of an implosion. And I don't know. I'm not Nostradamus. I don't make any predictions. What I do know is that people are not going to allow you to take them backwards. We will not go quietly into the night. There's no way. Some of us may be out there with our pants hanging around our butt, and some of us may be out there in suits, but we won't go back. Some of us will be there with our Bibles. Some of us may be there with our Quran. Some of us may be there with our Holy Beat, but we won't go back. Some of us are going to be old, and I tell folks, I say, he can do what he wants. Whoever's president or she. But once they mess with my Social Security check, it's on. And I know a whole bunch of folks. We won't go back. The babies won't go back. And the young people, they certainly won't go back. I got to do as an elder what I need to do to keep this world and this space as safe as I can. For those coming behind me, not to be pushed back. Because if I allow them to push me back, I'll allow them to push the generations behind me back. I can't do that. I can't. And I want all people to stand up and say, we can't. Our children are worth so much more than that. We can't. Those who came before us they're worth so much more than me stepping aside and let you say what they did is not worth me dying for. It can't happen, y'all. It won't happen, whether we like it or not. I pray, and I will work hard to see that as a nation we move and we grow in a peaceful way. I don't know if that will happen. I can't call it. What I will say is, we won't go back. Folks can say what they want, try to do what they want. I won't go back. I'm old. I ain't had a fight in a long time. They ain't saying I still can't though. I don't know. I pray. I got me some good Christians up in here, and I watch. And I what? Fight. That's what it's about. And I really believe that God is on the side of the poor. I believe that. That's just my theology in mind. I hope that those of you in this room, if you have the understanding of racism and how it functions and what it does, one of my mentors said, you know what? When you don't understand racism, what it is, and how it functions, then all else that you think you understand will only tend to confuse you. We live in a confused nation, and we're confused people, not just black people. All of us confused. But see, I believe that white people are victimized by racism too. Some of us, we all in a cell with this stuff. Some of our cells are padded. But the bottom line, undoing racism ain't about saving no people of color. I'm doing racism is everybody in this country have a stake in it, because having racism dehumanizes everybody. So what I say to my white brothers and sisters, when you work to undo racism, it ain't about saving me. It's about saving yourself. You got a stake in this too, because there's no way that I can be dehumanized and you not be dehumanized in this process. Sometimes I tell young white people, come to my community, and I love when they show up. But sometimes I have to tell them, you need to go home and save your own people. That's a reality. And you want to know what racism is and how it functions? Young white people, go try to deal with white people. Somebody said, yes, y'all know it ain't easy. But my thing is, I got to love your people and I got to work with them. You want to work with me? Then you got to love them and work with them. That's how that's going to go. And I will be with you. I'll love you. I'll teach you. I'll be there, because they're going to kick you. They're going to dog you. They're going to call you all kinds of stuff. But you know what? You got to do that. You got to engage. Now, I'm telling folks, it's not that easy working in my own community sometimes. Like everybody just, well, come on in, Barb, and teach us. No, I even have some black folks that look, Barb, you come here with that racism stuff, just don't mess with my white people. Well, I got a good job. Don't be calling my white people out. No, you go over there and deal with them other people. What I say, man up, woman up, shut up, grow up. You better do something. Because you can't sit here no more. Ain't no more innocent bystanders in this struggle. Everybody got a place. Everybody got a responsibility. I believe in the possibility of my nation. As crazy as things may seem right now. And that don't mean that stuff may not go all the way down. I don't know. Come back up. I don't know. All I know is I believe in the possibility, because there are way too many people who do not believe in some of the crap I heard as spouse during this election. There's a whole lot of people across every kind of racial line didn't go for it, didn't buy it, didn't say it, don't believe in it. So I know that there's a whole lot of folk out there going like, no, Barbara, you're not going back? I'm not going back either. Good, I got allies, and I know that all over this country and all over this world. We've got to continue to organize strategically, not just based on emotions. Because I tell people I'm emotional and I'm analytical. You know, as a woman, they say we just emotional. Y'all not analytical. I said, no, I analyze the situation, you know, and then I emotionally with you, you know. That's no problem. Like, I'm both. So I want us to use our emotion. It's not, you know, sometimes we get, it's all in that heart. You know what I'm saying? It's head and heart to me. They're not inseparable in the work that we have to do to make this world a better world. But I believe that we can. You know, like I told a friend of mine, I said, okay, I give you a day, don't be depressed. But you know what? I didn't have a day. That's a privilege almost. I didn't have a day. I just said, keep moving. Some of us don't have no day. It's like, oh, God, it's like, you know what? I just keep moving. And I told her, I said, well, I'm going to give you that day. It's okay. She was back the next day. She said, I'm back. Good. Because sometimes we have to learn how to move ourselves out of it just to re-energize and come back. I have to do that. I watch old movies. Love them. Some people say, I can't believe you watch these old black and white movies. I'm like, yeah. And then, excuse me, all my real politically nationalist black friends go like, why ain't no black people in the movie? I'm like, been with y'all all day. I did a happy ending. Hey, you do what you gotta do to survive this insanity. You got it. You figure out a way. So, yeah, but I'm gonna be back at it. So what I say to every one of you in this room, you got a role and a part in this struggle. You do. Because if you did, you wouldn't show up here. I am grateful and thankful for you. That you care enough to come. It's not about agreeing with me. I catch a flight out of here. But y'all have to talk to each other. Y'all got to figure out how to do that. Because whether it's here, or whether it's Seattle, or New Orleans, where we've got to figure out how we talk to each other. In a civil way. Don't mean that we give up what we feel and all our pain. It's not about that. But you all have a role and a responsibility. And my thing is, I read somewhere, I don't know if it was the deal, but we were born to be here. See, we were born to be here. These days, these times, I was born to be here. And I was like, I wish I was a little bit younger. So I was like, nah, God wanted you this age at this time. I was like, cool. Kept me healthy, cool. I'll do what I got to do. But we were born to be here at this time. Now what we've got to figure out, each one of us, is what am I supposed to do when I'm here? How do I make it better before it's my time to go on? This didn't start with us and it won't end with us. We are part of this chain of change. And so what is our role and what is our responsibility? And I haven't quite figured out all of mine yet. But don't follow my lead on that, because I never had a plan. I only went to college because I couldn't get a job at the Woolworths. I became a sociologist. Like, I tried to get a job at the Woolworths, couldn't get one. So like, why don't you go to college? Like, well, yeah, you can get a scholarship, okay. Mathematics, Did that, been there in high school, no one did. How about social work? Sociology, okay, cool. And I decided to go back to school, and it's a wonderful thing of learning. And what I'll say to older folk in here, I'm having the most amazing time in school. And the young people just ask, "This B, when you graduate?" I'm like, baby, I didn't come back here to graduate. I came back here to learn. But interacting with them, they've been some of the most amazing teachers to me. They're teaching me a lot of their culture, because I don't always understand the language. And they tell me, which I didn't really get, they go like, "Miss B." I go, "Yeah, baby, you don't have no filters." You know what, I've lived long enough where I don't have to have no filters. I get my Social Security check, and I was like, "What's a filter?" You know, I was like, but I like that. And then what I learned is, my baby's looking for us, my age, not to have no filters. We done put so many filters, they don't even understand what we said, and we can't tell the truth no more. So drop some of the filters. Now, I'm not telling you to use some of that language. Just drop some of the filters. Speak truth. Speaking truth means we need to rethink, understand that we've been seriously miseducated. But there's always learning opportunities. I am so grateful, child advocates, that you allowed us to come here and do the work that we do. Been doing it for a long time, and I've seen some changes. I'm very grateful for that. And the people that I've met in this city are absolutely amazing. Because I go like, well, all the people I met in Indianapolis, so well, I know other crazy people that, it doesn't wait. So I just say they must be in a circle or something. I know some of them in the city too. But I'm grateful to have the opportunity to start this conversation with you, because I can't do a workshop in this short amount of time. What I will tell you about the work that we do is that we break down systemic and institutional racism. That's really important that we understand that we move beyond just the individual acts of bigotry to understand what systemic racism is. The fact that it has always been part of our systems in this country, and the possibility that we can actually deinstitutionalize racism. We believe that if it was done, it can be undone. Not saying in one generation, not saying in one day, one workshop, it's not about that. But we have come, it's like we've come a long way, and we may have be snatched back of good ways. But guess what? We got the power to come back and then go further. It's almost like, when you pull back, like you put something in there and you pull it and you shoot it all the way out and go further this time. That's how I see it. Maybe we'll go further this time. So I ask of you, whether it's our workshop, it's not about whether you come to our workshop. It's about us really understanding the nature of this beast. Really understanding how and why it was created. Really knowing that it wasn't just about oppressing people of color. It's about privilege and power. Who has it, who can get it, and who can't. That we understand very clearly that how we all get played and manipulated, even with the ethnocentrism that I see, that I saw in my own community after Katrina. I see black folks saying, "Oh, they come here and they're taking our jobs." I was like, "You ain't had no job. They all speak English. You don't speak English." Let's make sure that we get clear who we're supposed to be dealing with. Ain't them brothers in here coming here trying to figure out and take care of their families, them contractors that's bringing them in here, not paying them a livable wage, keeping them in cages, and keeping us out of our own city. Let's get clear on who we need to be attacked. Let's understand very clearly. You can move school board, like we change school board superintendents every day. new school. I feel like until we change the system, you can change the personality. But it's more than a personality. How do we change a system that ensures that all children have access to a quality education? Understanding systems and institutions. I'll keep talking and keep thinking about other things I need to say, and none of it may not make no sense, and may not be, but trust me, it makes sense. Yeah, y'all. Y'all can email me, and I'll tell you how it all makes sense, if it didn't make sense to you. But what I really want to do is allow you time to converse and have a conversation. And it doesn't just have to be with me, but let's start this conversation of how do we talk about this stuff, what questions you may have for me. Not that I have all the answers, because actually a lot of the answers rest right here in this room with the people that are here. Trust your own brilliance and trust your own wisdom. That cool? All right.